All right, I just started recording, and so Josh, you'll notice that there's another little player box right here. It has my name on it, Jeremy B.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not another player. That's just another. So what I see is like the game master screen, but what you see is the player's view of things, right? And so I just signed in another account as
Right.
myself so I could see what players are seeing also. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, ignore that extra. It's like another version of me, like on my separate monitor here, just so I can see what you're seeing in case like there's any discrepancies. Like we ran into a few
Uh,
problems last time where I can see like a different set of visuals, like certain stats that you can't because I'm the game master. So we ran into a couple
sure.
discrepancies last time where you didn't know what I was talking about. So now I can see what's on your screen, or
Oh, okay.
what's presented to you. So, you know. Uh, but don't worry about that extra guy. In fact, I'm just going to in the actual on my screen, I'm just going to cover him up. So,
Okay. Sounds good.
okay. Yeah. So, just to give a little recap, I'm going to make sure the music isn't too loud this time cuz we ran into that crazy problem last time where the sound was just way too loud. Is the music too loud for you?
No, it's actually good.
Yeah, it should
Nice,
be
nice volume.
it should be good right now. So just a quick recap. Last time, Lester and Claudia they got a new case by this guy, Tehran, the brother of a former Imperial Ranger named Aaron, a character from the 13th Hour, who was sort of companion to the main character Logan. Anyways, Tehran belongs to the sleepy village of Aquaria, and the problem that Aquaria is facing now is that the people there, at least like half of the population, they keep seeing the ghost of this old woman in their dreams. And she was the former headmistress of the Aquarian orphanage. Her name was Hortense Brunscombe, and she died a while ago. And for some reason now, all the people are seeing her in their dreams, and she's warning them about some darkness brewing in the town. Okay? And so Lester and Claudia, they traveled to Aquaria. Along the way, they ran into some problems. Their cart came across a barbarian from the wildlands, and a group of Tartec police who were questioning the barbarian. They had captured her in a net, and Lester was examining the net and trying to talk to the barbarian, her gigantic wolf, when a problem arose, like a whole bunch of other barbarians uh, galloped into the scene, and then all hell broke loose, and then Tehran kind of jumped the gun and whipped the horses, and then the horses went along. He ran over the barbarian
Ran over
woman.
the. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tehran, you screwed the pooch there.
Yeah, and then it all went to shit. The barbarians killed the Tartec police, and then they chased you guys. Uh, luckily, Lester LeFoe was stuck in a precarious position where he was like halfway up the cart, but kind of still dragging his feet on the ground. Luckily, he managed to pull himself up, and then he shot off a flame arrow via his
Wow.
crossbow, and then burst half of the forest apart into fireworks. And luckily, you guys managed to escape, and you went crashing down the road, and finally made your way to Aquaria, sleepy village of Aquaria. So you'll see right now in the upper right-hand corner of the map, it's you guys, and you guys have just crashed your way into the town gates. The horses looking ragged, Tehran sweating furiously, and you've made quite an entrance, and you see this old man sitting on the stoop of his front porch, and he removes his pipe and looks at you and shakes his head in bewilderment. And he comes up to you and says, "Well, certainly know how to make quite an entrance. Hi, Tehran." Tehran waves to the old man and says, "Hi, Mayor Flint Gristle." And then he introduces you guys. He says, "Lester and Claudia meet Mayor Freddie Flint Gristle. He's the mayor of our fine town of Aquaria." And feel free to make conversation. Josh, you there?
Oh, there was just a pause there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Flint Gristle. Nice to meet you.
Greetings. So you're the God, all of you look like hell. Well, I'm assuming you two are the detectives that Tehran decided to run out of town to go find. You're from the big city, Tartec?
Guilty as charged.
Ah, well, you guys run into some trouble on the road. You know, you got covered in soot and you smell like ass. If I may say so myself.
Yeah. Well, we got a rousing welcome and nearly died. It's okay. It's not the first time.
We got attacked by barbarians along the way, Tehran says. He's still kind of high from the chase. He's like, they threw their axes at us, and they were on wolves, and Mr. Lester here, he shot them, and the whole forest got caught on fire, and it was awesome. Mayor Flint Gristle, he runs a finger across his beard, and then the finger turns to his whole hand. He wipes his brow, and then he looks distressed and says, "Barbarians this close to Aquaria, that's not good. They could try to ransack the city. You could never tell with the barbarians. We could use some help from Tartec, from the police, from King Darian. Not that he's ever paid much attention to us ever since he dragged our young man off to serve in the Imperial Rangers squad a few years back."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Tehran, that was one of... He was your brother, right?
Yes, sir, he was my brother Aaron. He died. He got eaten by a sea serpent. And Claudia says, "Misfortune just destroyed your whole family, Tehran. Your parents got hit by a meteor, brother killed by a sea serpent. Dear me."
Oh. And there was another one, right? There was another one who also came from this town?
"Yeah," says Tehran, "but I didn't know him. He was the little guy that my brother didn't like. But yeah, didn't know him."
Yeah.
So while you guys are talking, Tehran is going to take the horses. The horses belong to the innkeepers of town. And so he's going to take the horses and guide them down to the inn in the center of town. And so he says, "Listen, Lester and Claudia, you guys take your time, see the sights of Aquaria. When you want to find me, come to the inn, the Troglodyte's Toe, in the center of town. You can't miss it. It's really the only inn in town. We're not exactly renowned for our hip nightlife here in Aquaria. I need to get these horses back to my inn masters before, and I need to brush them off, brush all this soot and dirt and fire off of them, and before I get into even more trouble." And so he takes the cart. And so he's going to bring that down south. And I'm just going to get rid of that now. And then he's going to meander down the pathway along with the cart and make his way down towards the inn in the center of town. Okay? And then when you're ready, you can always go and find him there.
Okay.
And so you guys are left here. Feel free to move yourself around. You can talk with the mayor if you want, or you can explore town. Claudia's looking about at the this quiet farming village. You see plenty of simple houses, and you can see some people, doing regular farming duties, maintaining their fields, caring for sheep in the background. It's a very sleepy place.
Let's talk with the mayor here. I guess that must be him, right?
Yep, that's the mayor right there.
Yeah.
Feel free to question him about any interesting things that Tehran might not have revealed to you, or you can ask him about Aquaria's history.
Yeah. Oh, so Mr. Mayor, how long have you been mayor of this town here?
Well, I've been mayor for at least 2 decades and 5 years, I'm thinking, and my father was mayor before me, and I am the government around here, I am the law. There's not too much to regulate. We tend to be a quiet folk. The most excitement we've ever had was when King Darian's men came through a couple years back, asking for our young folk to be enlisted. Other than that, Aquaria is a sleepy place, and we try to keep to ourselves, though there has been some internal turmoil, I guess you could call it, brewing in the minds of our fine folk over the last couple months.
The mines, you said?
Yeah, the MINDS mines. I'm guessing Tehran told you the whole dream thing.
Yeah,
it's got everyone, it's got everyone a little psychologically disturbed. I think it might be something in the water. Yeah, I wish King Darian would send down some H2O inspectors and I don't know what it is.
Do you think, the woman who keeps coming back, I mean, did you know her?
I knew her. She was a fine old bird. Hortense Brunscombe. Back when we was youngsters, I did try my hand at wooing her, but she married some other bastard. And I've grown to be lonely and bitter. Bitter old son of a bitch. That's me, Freddie Flintgristle. She was real good with children. Just took care of him and really liked the orphanage. And hell, half of the adults in this town was raised by her. Not myself, I was not an orphan, but we owe a lot to Hortense Brunscombe, and it's weird to see her memory come up in such a bad way like this.
She passed away a couple of years ago, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, and then she had been the headmistress of the orphanage for, I don't know, what, decades, it sounds like?
Yeah, long time. Enough for the kids to kind of consider her their mother,
Yeah. So when she passed away, was that a sort of like a sudden thing, or was it kind of thing where, it was time?
I mean, it was sudden in the sense that she had experienced the usual problems that we elderly folk face, back problems, the old constipation, so to speak, heart issues, and it was, a heart issue that did her in.
Sure.
Those are always sudden. But she was 68, so, it's not inconceivable. There was no foul play. We don't got murders or anything in our town. She passed away.
Yeah.
And then after she passed away, we had some new people take over the orphanage. There was one guy who was here for a little bit, and he was doing bookkeeping, but he left. He got suckered away into this get-rich-quick scheme up in the northern Tartec territories, and so he didn't last very long. And now we got a new man running the show. I don't know if Tehran told you about him.
Not really. I mean, he didn't seem terribly fond of him, but I mean.
So the new guy is called Albertus Allright, and he is he's a wealthy man. I ain't really seen a guy like him before in this part of the world. He says he came down here to enjoy the quiet life in his retirement, all right? And he's kind of an entrepreneur. He made a fortune up in the mines in the territories, and he came down here with lots of money. And he basically bought the orphanage because we didn't really have anyone to take care of it. So he said he would do it. And he outfitted the place with new walls and floors. It looks nicer now than it did before, and he also helped rebuild parts of the Troglodyte's Toe, the inn that Tehran works at. The two innkeepers there, Marvin and Mondo, you can meet them. They've been working this town for a long time, and so the inn had some leakage problems. Some roof problems, and he came in and he fixed that. He brought a team of builders with him from the Northern Territory, some guys that have been working for him for a long time, and they kind of act as the caretakers over at the orphanage now. So him and his men, they take care of the kids, and they've contributed to the town in some way, and I think it's good. It's nice to have new folk in Aquaria, and it's nice to have people helping to rebuild our infrastructure. The kids seem, I mean, they're a bit quieter now than they used to be, but I can only assume it's because Albertus ain't been their headmaster for very long. I only assume it's because they don't know him as well as you know, anyone else. Or Hortense Brunscombe, for example.
Yeah. Do you know, spend a long time in the orphanage, or do they kind of just come and go?
The children, well, the latest batch is, I mean, we got a batch, you know, a handful of kids in there. Usually when they reach their upper teens, people come and adopt them. So the interesting thing about this new guy, Albertus, is that he's got, you know, he traveled across the world. He's got some connections. He knows some wealthy families from the Tartec territories and some people in other towns that, you know, travel around and, you know, at least 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months, rich families have come and passed through town, and Albertus has introduced them to the children, and then, you know, the kids have been adopted. It's really cool, in my opinion. I think he's done some good there, giving the kids to, you know, families that'll treat them good. I know Tyron doesn't think much about him, but I can't say that the man has really done damage to the town. Tyron's convinced that you know, the nightmare started when the new guy Albertus took over the orphanage, but we don't really have proof of that.
Now, is it just certain people you think that have had the nightmares, or has it been any predictable pattern that you guys have been able to see?
It's the people that grew up in the orphanage. It's former orphans. So. Oh. Yeah, okay. So I don't have them. I don't have them because I was never an orphan. But the people that grew up in the orphanage under the care of Hortense Brunscombe. Okay? Huh. So, for example, Tyron's been having him because he was in the orphanage for a little bit before Hortense Brunscombe died. Okay. Marvin and Marvin, not Mondo, sorry. Marvin, one of the owners of the Troglodyte's Toe Inn, he has been having them. He was a former orphan. So you could probably ask him about it. Okay. Ask him what he sees. I don't, you know, I ain't been seeing it, and you know, it's. I really would like to get to the bottom of this because I think it's, you know, I think with the arrival of Albertus and some of these wealthy families that have been coming, you know, Aquaria could be on the cusp of a brave new period of tourism. Could become like a viable retirement town for wealthy citizens of the world, and unfortunately we can't do that if we were having nightmares. So we'd be awful grateful if you could figure it. What'd you say your name was again, sir?
Lester.
Lester what?
Lester LeFoe.
Lester LeFoe. Claudia chimes in and she says, "The son of the famous Mortimer LeFoe. He's got a famous father. You might have heard of him." Mayor Flint Gristle wipes his sweaty brow and pulls on his mustache hairs and says, "I can't say I have. Sorry, don't really like the city very much. Don't go up there. Never was a fan of city folk. No offense to y'all. I prefer the quiet life myself."
There's nothing wrong with that. We've been meaning to get away. We just had a rather harrowing experience up in the city, so we'll be looking for a little change of pace.
"We saved the king from getting his lungs cut open," says Claudia. Oh, now is a good time. Claudia actually shows off these. You remember these? You remember these?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Darian's pin.
Yeah, she shows off the pins that King Darian gave you as a reward for saving his life. Okay. Yeah. And remember, the pin says, "The wearer of this pin is an esteemed hero of the kingdom of Tartec and a personal friend of our Lord King Darian IV. May he live forever." This is actually a pretty important sign of your status in the kingdom, so it's worth maybe showing people if you think you can get something out of them, if they know that you're important. Now Freddie Flintgristle looks at it and says, "It looks like a cup of tea. It's kind of an odd insignia for King Darian." And Claudia's like, it's the elixir of eternal life. It's what gives King Darian his mojo, so to speak. His virility.
Yes. It's yeah. It's like a tea bag. Let's just call it that. We'll leave it at that.
Well, I can't drink much tea, says Freddie Flinkris. When I drink tea, it gives me the runs.
Yeah. Well, I think actually, I don't know if you ever had it. It's actually coffee.
Oh,
you have that?
Coffee.
You do have coffee.
I ain't never heard about it. It sounds like one of those things that Marvin and Mondo like to serve in the Troglodyte's Toe. They got all types of exotic drinks down there. You can go have some of them if you want.
Yeah. Well, so how do you? Let me ask you this: how do you think that besides getting to the bottom of this, I mean, do you think there's anything else that you said that the dreams kind of like signified bad things going on in the town? From your perspective, do you think that there's anything else that is happening that kind of threatens town safety or anything like that?
I mean, not that I know of, but I ain't no investigator. That's your guys' job. I mean, the reason why people think bad things is brewing in town is because the people who are having these dreams say that the ghost of Hortense Brunscombe is telling them that bad stuff is occurring. We don't got any proof. Now, if you find proof that bad stuff is happening, I'm perfectly glad to. Well, we don't really got a police force, but I'd be perfectly bad to take the sons of bitches and throw them in the. Well, I got a basement. That's the town jail, and then every couple of weeks we get a contingent of Imperial Rangers and or Tartec police people that wander through, and then I send the criminals off to them, and then I'd be perfectly happy to throw the sons of bitches in my jail basement, but can't just accuse somebody. You need proof. Even in a sleepy village like ours, you need proof.
Yeah. Well, that's assuming it's a person, right?
That's assuming it's a person. Now, if it's a poltergeist or a vegetable, mineral, gas, then damned if I know what to do.
But what kind of, are there any particular issues that people normally run into in town?
Well, you can go ask them. There's people around. They'll talk to you. People here are friendly. There's none that I know of.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
okay.
Ask the people in the Troglodyte's Toe. We get all. Actually, we had some other visitors recently. There's a couple new visitors hanging out in the Troglodyte's Toe. One of them is this loud, hyperactive kid that used to be a former orphan in Mayor Hortense Brunscombe's care. So he's also here. He come back to town recently. He's also here trying to figure out what's going on. So you can talk with him. He's become like an adventuring type now. You know these kids. They get ideas in their heads and they run around the world and blah blah blah. And there's two others there. There's some magic folk in there. I forget their names, but some of them magic users. So go talk to them. They might be able to tell you more. And see the sights while you're here. It's we don't got much compared to the city, but what we do got is nice.
Anything you'd recommend seeing?
Well, there's the beautiful graveyard right in front of me, which is where we put all our dead people. And he gestures to the graveyard. You can see Hortense Brunscombe's grave over there, along with the grave of my father and my grandfather and my great-great-grandfather. Other than that, there's the Troglodyte's Toe, and he points in the direction. I can do this. Your map should jump to it now. Yeah. That big building in the center is the Troglodyte's Toe, the inn in town.
This one.
Yeah.
With the X on it.
Yeah, with the X on it. And then he says, below that's a town square. We got some people hanging out there. And then over here, and then he points. Over there is the orphanage, and you can see some of the kids and. Yeah. So those guys with the hats over there, those are the caretakers, the workers that Albertus brought with him. They're quiet quiet guys. They don't say much, but you can try talking with them.
All right.
Yep.
Well.
And if you need anything, I'll be here. I tend to have a very difficult job. I just sit on the stoop all day and, smoke my pipe and scratch my balls. It's good to be the mayor.
Well,
but don't let anyone tell. I didn't say that.
Well, thank you for the information and enjoy scratching your coconuts there.
Well, classy guy, says Claudia. Well, the officials here are even worse than Captain Smalltalk. Somehow managed to do even less work.
Yeah.
Here's Freddy. Freddy Flint Gristle is the mayor of Aquaria, which, contrary to popular belief, does not actually have a minister of interior affairs. No, sir.
Oh, I should have asked. Yeah.
You can if you want to. No, sir. Mayor Flint Gristle, in fact, is pretty much all that exists as a form of government in town. He's a good-natured sort, albeit a little grumpy at the fact that half of the citizens in his town seem to be suffering from some sort of psychological invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe the mayor of Aquaria was only mentioned in one sentence of the 13th Hour, but I imagine him to be the same guy.
Yeah, he's in the very beginning, actually, in the bar, which I guess would.
Where you're gonna go to? You're gonna go to. Yeah. So feel free to explore.
All right, let's see. Where are we at here? Let's go. Let's go look at the graveyard. Let's go look at the gravestone.
Yeah, sure. So you can go about and look at all the gravestones, and most of them are pretty pretty nondescript. You after much searching, you do find the grave of Hortense Brunscombe.
Yeah.
And it just says, she died at the age of 68, and she was a beloved mother and grandmother and informal mother to many children, both her own and the children of Aquaria. So her gravestone is the small one right here. Yeah, in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything particular like interesting about it, or?
Well, let's see. Let's have you make a check to see if you can determine anything interesting about it. Let me see what kind of check it would be. That would just be a regular perception check. Yeah, roll me a d20. Yeah. 16 plus, so you have a +3 modifier, because perception uses your wisdom. So 16 plus 3, what is that?
16 plus 3, 163.
Yeah. So 16 plus 3, 19. That's high. You can tell the grave has not been disturbed. I mean, obviously you don't know if she's buried there unless you want to try to unearth her with a shovel, but it doesn't look like the grave's been tampered with. You do have quite a bit of experience unearthing unearthing people from graves. So
yeah.
Claudia's like, this is a nice quaint graveyard. It ain't like the last one we was in with old murder hobos trying to throw shovels at our heads.
Yeah, maybe we'll. Yeah, I don't think we'll take her out of the earth just yet. Not unless we have to. Certainly not in broad daylight.
I know. We might actually have to make old Freddy Flint Gristle over there get off his ass and do something. Can't be having that. Don't worry, he might pull a muscle, bust a blood vessel.
Yeah, that wouldn't be any fun. Okay. Well, that's that. Is there anything else of note in the graveyard there?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. What are these other houses down here? Those are just like residential.
Yeah, residential houses, people's houses. You can't really get in them right now because they're people living there.
Yeah. Okay. How about let's go down here. These people.
So this is the orphanage. Okay.
Oh, it's the orphanage.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the orphanage. All right, and so you can see it. It's one of the larger buildings in town, and it's got an orchard in the back, and it's got some animals playing in front. And you can see these young kids here. Okay, these are children. There's a boy and a girl standing here, and then if you look down, there's another boy and a girl standing here, and they're playing. They're playing with children's toys, and then looking over them are these two figures in hats, and these appear to be the I guess the caretakers / workers that Freddie Flinkgristle talked about.
Huh. Okay. Hi, how are you guys? This is the orphanage, I take it?
Who are you speaking to right now?
I don't know, whoever's in front. I guess maybe one of the kids.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna say you're speaking to this kid right here, the kid with the pack, and then this girl right here. And so the kids, they're playing on the ground with toy dolls, and then they look up at you, and then they wave at you slowly, and they say, "Hello, welcome to Aquaria's orphanage." And then the man in the hat turns and nods at you. He doesn't say anything, he just nods and kind of tips his hat at you.
Yeah. What's do you guys have animals here? I'm asking the kids.
The kids turn and point to over here. There's a small dog wandering around through the trees. They point to a dog over there. And then they point to like a stray cat that you can see wandering through town a short distance away. But they don't say anything.
Well, my name's Lester, and this is Claudia here.
"Hello, children," says Claudia. "What you playing at?" And she goes down to look at their toys, and they're a pair of dolls. And Claudia tries to engage the children. And roll me roll me another perception check, actually. Okay, so 5 plus 3 is going to be 8, so 8 in total. You can tell that the kids are just very quiet for some reason. They might just be shy, like don't talk to strangers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we won't keep you from your playing long. We're here, we actually come from a different place, and we're here visiting town because we've heard that there are some problems that people have with sleeping. And so we're here to maybe try to help that a little bit.
One of the kids looks at you and says, "Well, we hope you enjoy your stay in Aquaria, sir. No problems with sleeping here. We sleep 7 hours a night, very peacefully."
That sounds good. Well, if you do, we'll be around.
The kids go back to playing in the dirt, and the caretaker guy once again nods at you and tips his hat. Doesn't say anything, though. Claudia goes up to you and whispers, "Lester, these kids look like they're brain dead."
Yeah, something fishy going on here.
"I ain't never seen a group of such subdued children in my life."
You know what? Let's go inside the...
Inside the orphanage?
Yeah. Can we go inside?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go inside. It's still open. It's kind of late afternoon now, but the orphanage is still open.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys wander into the orphanage. I'm going to move you down there. Yeah, and I will move to a new page. 1 second. All right. So you are now at the entrance to the orphanage. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say that you guys have moved inside, and you're standing in the doorway, and it looks pretty grand, actually. You can see around the corner there appear to be dormitories for the children, and you can hear low sounds of children playing. It looks pretty nice. So there are nice rugs on the floor. There's plenty of tables everywhere. You can see 2 more of those caretakers wearing the hats They're polishing the walls and the tables, taking care of maintenance work. And you can see a large-looking man standing by the fire here.
Yeah. This is definitely a lot more elaborate than I anticipated. Although I guess than I envisioned when I thought it up. But then I guess it underwent some renovations, I guess.
Yeah, right? Apparently it has. Yeah. So it has that kind of new house feel. You know what I'm talking about? Like when things, like everything looks a little too perfect. Like it's not weathered. There definitely have been some renovations.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's go inside. Let's go talk to this guy up here.
All right. So this fellow here, he turns around as you approach him, and he turns towards you and he smiles. And he's kind of a large, overweight man. He smiles and he nods at you and holds out his hands and says, "Oh, hello, visitors. Albertus, all right, at your service. Welcome to Aquaria's orphanage, home of, dare I say it, the happiest orphans in the land. And who might you be? Visitors? Would you like to adopt a child?"
No, actually, we're from the capital city.
Oh, the capital, Tartec. Very nice, very nice. Beautiful city. I'm quite fond of the corridors of Hightown myself. Very lovely there. What brings you to Aquaria, if I might ask?
We were actually summoned by one of the former orphans, actually, of this establishment, and he actually brought us down to help investigate some nightmares that people have been having of late.
Nightmares? Oh, well, I haven't heard of any nightmares. Well, I'll have you know that the children in my orphanage, they do not suffer from insomnia. We feed them 3 times a day. They are not malnourished, they are not maltreated, and they sleep on fine, newly provided pillows and blankets every evening. You will not find much to complain about here. I don't know if you're one of those, building inspectors. Sorry, just taking some precautions. Feel free to look around. As you can see, we've got new rugs. I brought them in myself. Inspectors. All right. Well, enjoy.
It looks very nice.
Thank you. I have a flair of the interior decorating skill. I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. I dabble in real estate and construction and mining, and there's nowhere better to utilize these talents than in a sleepy town like Aquaria. Sleepy towns often need some fixing, and they are prime real estate opportunities, and so I took over this establishment, and I believe I have made it into something very nice indeed. One of the finest orphanages I've been in, at least.
Yeah. Did you know the woman who used to run it a long time ago? Hortense, something or other. Brunscombe, I think was her name.
I did not. She passed before I came here. I inherit, so when I arrived, it was, this establishment was, there was a previous man who had left, and it was sort of in the care of the community. They didn't really have a person who would run it. As a result, the children were wild, they ran about, and they didn't have any supervision. It's not good for children to not have supervision. On some days, Mayor Flintgristle would try to come in here and watch the kids, and he always would fall asleep. So then I came in, and I previously had a part-time stint as a school teacher up in the north. And I decided to bring my skills to this establishment and fixed it up, and now here we are.
So it was much different when you took it over?
Oh, it was shabby. It was not fit for children. Not fit for anyone. It was small, lacking in resources. These rugs add quite a lot of flavor to the place. Claudia says, it looks real opulent. Looks like Hightown, honestly. He says, well, you know, nothing like bringing a bit of class to the countryside.
Oh, yeah.
It looks, it almost looks like that mansion you guys infiltrated a while back. Like it's got that air of fanciness to it.
Yeah.
Now,
so,
keep in mind, actually, if you look at your character sheet, keep in mind that you have a couple abilities. If you scroll down, remember you have this eye for deceit thing. If you want to check when a creature is lying, you can always make a roll, actually.
I also have the eye for detail.
Eye for detail is a combat thing. You use that in your fight with Etor to see where he was invisible. Remember, he used an invisibility spell, and so when you're fighting hidden opponents, eye for detail. But just regular day-to-day stuff, eye for deceit's pretty good, especially if you want to question somebody and see if they're lying or not. Up to you if you want to use it.
Yeah, I might as well. There's like a restriction on using it, right? I can't use it all.
No, you can use that one whenever you want. It just depends on, like, if you ask him a difficult question, and then if you think he's telling you a lie, then you can try to make a roll, and then basically it just the eye for deceit, just whatever if you roll lower than a 7, it gets treated as an 8.
Okay, well, I might as well give it a try. Maybe I'll think of a question here. Let's see. Have you heard of the rumors floating around in town about the ghost of Hortense Brunscombe coming back in certain people's dreams? And I'll use the eye for deceit with this one.
Well, so he says, I can't say I have, sir. So I guess you want to make a roll to see if he's lying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Just roll me a d20. This would be a insight check. So you rolled an 8. What's your insight score? Let's see.
I don't know if
Yeah. Okay, so insight is you get a +3 to any insight roll. Okay. Yeah. So that would be 11 in total. All right. Yeah, and you don't need your eye for deceit because that is high enough to tell that he is lying. He is lying. Yeah. He's got like his eyebrow twitches slightly.
Huh. Okay. Well,
Claudia whispers, knows more than he's letting on.
Yeah.
I hope this fat bastard ain't diddling no children. Quiet countryside town's the perfect place for those types to run off to.
Yeah. After the events of the last couple of weeks, wouldn't be surprised. Well, nice meeting you. Well, we really like what you've done with the place.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and feel free to take a look around. I have nothing to hide. I'm a man of my word, and the children will talk with you. Enjoy yourselves.
Sounds good.
He goes back to relaxing and warming his feet in front of the fireplace.
Let's see, maybe
Now, let me actually show you this. Okay, see? This is Albertus Allwright, alright? Okay. He's the current owner and caretaker of Aquaria's orphanage, which is odd because he's not actually Aquarian. And in fact, he's a recent wealthy transplant to town who probably doesn't need to be running an orphanage at all. Albertus is from the northern territory of Duma. It's one of the ones above Neva in the mountains.
Right.
Actually, remember, in the 13th Hour, Livian and Cordell, those towns in the mountains where there are mines, they're in Duma. That's how I see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Duma's known for its mines. So this guy, Albertus, he made his fortune in the gold and silver mines there. He also knows a thing or two about real estate, since after moving to Aquaria a year ago, he has helped remodel both the orphanage and the troglodyte's toe. He's done this out of the goodness of his heart, he says, and claims that he's caring for the town's orphans for the same reason. Something just seems a bit off about this guy, though. Not to mention the strange caretakers that he's brought with him from Duma, and just makes you ask, what's a rich man like this doing in the middle of nowhere?
It is odd, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a kid to show us around.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see. Walk down here.
You can see dormitory rooms for the children, and
Wow.
most of the doors are open, and kids are playing with their toys.
Yeah.
And they're playing very quietly, like the children outside. Everybody seems quiet and subdued. Claudia says, "My God, these kids are like perfect angels. It seems almost illegal for children to be this quiet. I don't know, like they've been drugged. Maybe there is something in the water. I've never seen kids like this before. I'm used to orphanage where kids are just running around trying to kill each other. The boys groping the girls screaming at other girls, etc. and etc."
Yeah, maybe let's ask this kid. Here. Knock on his door.
The kid to the left of you, correct?
Yeah, kid to the left, yeah.
And so you hear him say, "Come in." And so you can walk inside. He's sitting on the ground, playing with his toys.
Hi.
Hello.
Would you mind showing us to where we could answer nature's call?
Oh, like the bathrooms?
Yeah, that would be good. We're new. We're just visiting. We're looking for a place to use the.
He points around the corner of his door and points right up here, and you can see those are the latrines, the bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
He says, "Yeah."
Oh, and
there you go, sir.
And the other thing we were looking for is that where's the place where you guys play? Is there like a place where you guys, like a room or a library or anything like that where you guys play? And
We just play in our rooms, sir. Sometimes
stuff together.
Sometimes we go outside. Make another perception roll. Make another perception roll.
The D20?
Yeah, D20. And it's going to be a +3. Yeah, so this plus your modifier, 13 plus 3 is a 16. So you're looking at the child, and you can tell that his eyes seem to be looking through you. It's weird. Like, he's not looking at you. He's looking through you.
Mm.
It's a little unnerving.
Yeah. Okay.
Lester, we've stumbled upon a den of the devil children.
Yeah. Okay. Can I look and see what he's playing? Observe, like, what is the kid doing?
He's playing with a wooden horse. And actually all he's doing is rocking it back and forth on the ground.
Oh,
and
that's it?
You watch him for a couple more minutes, and that's all he's doing. He's humming a little bit to himself, but he's just rocking it back and forth.
Okay. What about this kid across the hallway? Like his, like, to the right.
The kid across the kid across the hallway to the right in the suspenders. He's staring at the ceiling and humming to himself.
Huh. This is weird. What's going on with these kids?
Claudia's looking in at some of the other children. And she says, Lester, these kids, like, they're all really quiet and good, but it's like the life has been kind of sucked out of them. I mean...
Yeah, it's like they're drugged or something.
I mean, they're not doing nothing wrong, I guess. And she goes up to a girl in here, and she's like, "Alright, little missy, tell me, what's the dirt in the orphanage? Like, who's secretly in love with who? Who's got a crush on whom? Come on, I know something's going on. Like, who's lost their virginity at the age of 15? Come on." And the girl looks at her and says, "We're very good here. We don't engage in such behavior."
Huh.
So this girl is drawing pictures, okay? She's drawing pictures at her desk. And she's drawing landscapes and people walking through the landscapes. And the weird thing about the picture is that all the people she's drawing don't have any facial features.
They have, like, eyes?
No, it's just blank faces.
Interesting.
Claudia's like, "Oh god, that's creepy." God, it's the devil children, Lester. Let's burn it all down. Let's evacuate the kids and burn it down.
Huh. What about this kid over here? What's he doing?
This kid over here is playing with a yo-yo. Okay?
Okay.
And he's got it in Cat's Cradle. You know Cat's Cradle?
Okay.
Where it's spinning back and forth. And he's just maintaining that. It's pretty cool. Like, he's really good at just maintaining it, but that's like all he's doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How are you doing that? I'm asking the kid.
He doesn't look at you, but he says, "Practice, lots of practice."
It must have taken you hours to get it like that. How are you keeping it spinning so long?
Just practice makes perfect, and you know, you can do this too, sir.
I don't know if I can do that. I've never seen anybody else do it as long as you have.
He doesn't say anything.
Huh. Alright. What about... Let's see. What about this kid down here?
Which one?
This one.
Oh, okay. So this kid is sitting in his room, and I guess you open the door, and he looks up at you as you approach. He looks nervous.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
"Hi," he says weakly.
My name's Lester.
He says, "Nice to meet you, Lester. Are you here to adopt me? Maybe?"
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually just here visiting.
"Oh, well, okay. I hope you I hope you come back and maybe adopt me and my sister, if you."
Your sister's here?
Yeah. My sister's my sister's currently the oldest one in the orphanage, and so she's got her own room up at the top of the hall, and she helps do some cleaning. It's what you get to do when you're one of the older ones around here. You notice this kid is talking a lot more than any of the others.
Yeah. How long you guys been here for?
We've been here ever since our mother died a couple years back, and it's. Would you consider adopting me? Like, is there something I can do, maybe, to get you to love me and get me out of here, maybe?
Well, this place seems like really nice, but it seems a little. I don't know. It seems very quiet. I don't think I've ever seen a place that's this quiet. Is it always this quiet?
He looks really nervous, and he says, "Like, it used to be not so quiet, but so you look around behind you, and actually one of the caretakers has popped up behind you, and he's just looking at you and at the boy in the room, and he makes Claudia jump because he kind of just snuck up on Claudia, and Claudia's like, "Jumping, Jehoshaphat! Don't sneak up on a young lady like that! God!" And so the caretaker looks at you guys and says, "Is anything wrong here?" And then the kid in the room is like, "No, sir, nothing wrong. Just these nice people coming through. I was just asking them if they were gonna adopt me. That's all." And the caretaker looks at you, and Claudia nods and tips his hat again, and then starts walking back up the hall.
Huh.
And the kid looks freaked out. Okay, and he's like, "Look, I can't. Maybe go talk with my sister. Okay."
Okay.
What
did you say your name was again?
My name's Alexander, but
Alexander.
I prefer to be alone right now. Okay.
Okay.
So one thing you do notice is that Alexander is playing with a really cool toy. It's really cool, and so it's like an action figure, okay? And then he winds it up, and then it can walk across the room. Okay, it can walk back and forth. It's like a wind-up action figure. All right.
Wow.
And so he goes back to playing with it, and he tips the top of the action figure, and the action figure can do a little backflip.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Claudia says, "What's that? That's pretty sweet." And he actually does bright up. He does brighten up when she asks him about his toy, and she says, "Oh, this is my wind-up walker. my sister saved up for a whole year in order to afford it for me, and it's the best gift I've ever gotten."
That's really cool. I would have loved something like that when I was a kid.
Let me show it to you. It looks like this. It's like a little robot, actually.
Ah, very nice.
So it's a very cool wind-up toy that resembles a suit of armor. This gizmo must have an impressive mechanism inside. It can actually walk back and forth on any surface, and if you press a button on its head, it can dance and it can do backflips too. Okay. Alexander says I've actually changed that. I've changed that. So ignore the line where he says he found it nestled in an old drawer in the orphanage. His sister ended up buying it for him. Okay. I changed that. But on the bottom of its left foot, there's a label which reads, "Constructed by Gear Tinker."
Huh.
So let me just change the line. Alexander says his sister bought this for him as a gift. Okay. And yeah, on the bottom of its left foot, there's a label which reads, "Constructed by Gear Tinker."
Huh.
It's pretty cool.
Claudia, have you ever seen this up where we live? Toys like this? I don't think I've ever seen anything quite this advanced.
I ain't seen anything this advanced before, but I mean, I never really had cool toys when I was growing up, because I grew up in the countryside too. The village where I lived in didn't really have stuff like this. I feel like I heard this name before, Gear Tinker. I don't know if it's a brand. Sounds like a brand, or maybe it's the guy who made it. I don't know.
Well, Alexander, do you have like the coolest toy like in the entire orphanage? You're the only one who has a toy like this?
Well, so actually what happened was my sister, she bought this from the innkeeper, Marvin. Okay? The guy who runs the Troglodyte's Toe right now with Mondo. So this used to be Marvin's toy when he was a little kid. Okay?
Oh.
And Marvin grew up in this orphanage, and he said back in the day there were a couple of these lying around, but obviously because they were so awesome, like any kid who got it, he would hoard it for himself and like never show anybody. Marvin was lucky enough to get this one. He got it. He took it from another kid in a fist fight. All right. And now he's all grown up, and he just had it like sitting on the back counter of the Troglodyte's Toe, and so I would, I'd see it in the window, and then he used to joke with me. He was like, "Son, you save up enough money, and I'll give this to you. You'll learn something about saving money, and you'll get a really cool toy in the process." And so, actually, I wasn't the one who saved money. My sister was, but now it's mine, and I'm not letting go of it.
I wouldn't either.
It's pretty cool. Do you know who's Gear Tinker? And Alexander says, I don't know. I guess it's the guy who made it.
Do they sell them in town? Like your sister bought it here in town?
His sister bought it from the innkeeper.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so it used to be the innkeeper used to be a kid in the orphanage, and it was he acquired it when he was a kid in the orphanage, and his sister he's grown up now and runs the inn, and so the sister bought it from him. Yeah.
Well, Alexander, do you know if they sell these in town? I think I'd like to, I don't know, pick up one as maybe a souvenir or something.
Alexander shakes his head and says, "No, sir, it's one of a kind. If there were any others in town, they're buried. I haven't seen them."
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you from actually this town, or are you from somewhere else?
I was in this town, you know, I've been in this town for a couple years, but my mother was a traveling, she was a traveling warrior, all right, and she passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
She passed away, and then we were living in the town with her when she passed away. And since she passed, my sister and I have been here. And that's really all I can say right now, sir. I don't want them to hear me. If you would,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's nice meeting you, Alexander.
Nice meeting you too, sir.
We might be around every now and then. We're here because we heard people have been having some weird dreams and difficulty sleeping, and so we've been asked to see if we can learn a little bit more about that.
So this when you mentioned that, Alexander looks super nervous. Then he starts to sweat, and then he kind of is peering his head around the corner, almost as if he's afraid of someone eavesdropping. And he's like, "Look, I really can't talk anymore. I need to go."
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
So you leave him in his
All
toy.
right.
Claudia's like, "That was weird. He's like the only lucid one here."
What about this girl here?
Uh-huh. Okay. This girl she's like dancing. And she's dancing in a circle.
Just in a circle?
Yeah.
Just like she's spinning around and around.
Yeah, slowly, like waltzing to herself.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hello.
Aren't you getting dizzy?
Not at all.
What kind of dancing are you doing?
Just your regular old waltz, sir.
Oh, wow. She's dancing with herself. Okay.
Yeah. Now, you can tell that, once again, this kid is looking through you instead of at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this one down here?
This one is rocking back and forth in her chair. She's reading a book.
Hi, what you reading?
She looks up at you and then she flashes you the cover of the book, and it's like an adventure story for children. Okay. It's about an old elf that traveled all the corners of the world and met some strange people, including a guy who lived on a flaming island and served people ultra hot drinks.
Oh. Looks like a good book.
She nods at you and then goes back to reading. Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Six, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's not high enough to perceive anything. Just a bit. You just see her reading.
Yeah.
I can have Claudia do it, actually.
Yeah.
Claudia, see if she perceives anything. Oh, Claudia rolled 2. Yeah, rolling poorly. She can't. I mean, she just looks as strange as the other children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask her.
Except for Alexander. Except for Alexander.
Yeah. Hey, is there a library here?
A library in town, sir?
Oh, just in the orphanage.
No, we just have some books in our rooms. That's all. She goes back to reading.
Okay. All right.
They're limiting the flow of information to the children, Lester.
Yeah. Let's go see this kid. What's this kid doing here down here?
This kid is playing with dice on the floor.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing? Doing some gambling?
He looks at you and says, "No, sir, we're good here. We don't do any gambling."
Really? Not at all?
Not at all.
Hey, I'll
It's fucking boring here, Lester. That's what Claudia says.
Hey, maybe. Hey, do you want to? I got a few coins.
He looks at you as if you just told him that you want to slice open his innards. He shakes his head and says, "No, sir. No gambling. We're good children. Very good."
Okay. Wow. You're like the best behaved kids I've ever seen.
Make another perception check.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I need to. It's weird, but...
Okay, so he rolled 16. It's pretty high. So the kid's throwing. It's 6-sided dice. Every time he throws it, it's always a 6. Always with the 6 up.
Huh.
He never rolls less than a 6. And on that dice, that's the highest.
Yeah. How are you doing that?
Practice makes perfect, sir.
Well, it looks very easy.
And he doesn't answer. He just goes back to tossing his dice. So Claudia says to you, "Lester, these kids are all like, they're all like super good at like one thing. Like they're all like super focused. It's weird."
Huh. Well, let's go see this kid.
So this little girl's making her bed. Okay? And the bed is just the nicest, cleanest bed you've ever seen, with like the tightest sheets, no creases anywhere. It's a nice bed.
Oh. Claudia, you know how to... I certainly can.
Claudia's like, "God, no, you should see what it's like in the boarding house. Joan and Alice leaving their sheets everywhere. And the bathrooms are a mess. There's girls' hair all in the shower drains, etc., etc. I ain't seen nothing like this. Yes, sometimes, Lester, when I go to bed, I actually wake up on the opposite side of the bed, like I somehow backflip in my sleep and turn around, and it's weird. And then a couple times I've woken up in the middle of the night to Hubert screams because I accidentally turn and then squash him."
Wow. Okay. Let's see if we can find Alexander's sister.
Yeah, so he said she was like up somewhere.
Yeah.
So we go back up.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there's a room that's all the way up here.
Yeah.
How do we get in there, actually?
So you can see there's a door here. So, and that leads to like a door here. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can enter into the door, and this is like a...
there.
Yeah, so this is one of the caretakers. This is a kitchen area. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And the caretaker appears to be chopping up a meal for the children, chopping up some kind of vegetable stew, and he's chopping carrots very precisely. He doesn't acknowledge you as you walk in, but he does appear to be watching you out of the corner of his eye, like all of these caretakers are doing. These creepy, quiet guys. All right.
Hey, what's for dinner?
He looks at you and says, "Vegetable stew. Healthy diet for a growing child."
Yeah. Where do you guys grow the vegetables here?
All locally sourced from the farmers of Aquaria.
Oh. I noticed the kids spend a lot of time in their rooms. How do you get them to stay in there like that?
It is Master Albright's influence. A good child will attract a good family.
Oh. I see.
Goes back to chopping the carrots. Chopping them really nice.
Huh. Well, let's see if we can make a way around to this. Is that a doorway, I guess?
Yeah, there's a door.
Knock on her door.
Yeah. So, the little girl opens the door, and she looks around at you nervously, and she's actually holding an old helmet in her hands. She looks at you up and down and says, "Hi, can I help you?"
Actually, maybe. I'm Lester, and this is Claudia, and we actually were just talking with your brother.
My brother.
Yeah, Alexander.
Yeah. And what did he say?
He suggested we come talk to you, but anyway, we're here. We're just visiting. We're just kind of walking around meeting people. We were just remarking how quiet it is here, and how good everyone seems at doing things.
Okay. Well, we're good children here, as everybody says. If you want to adopt me and my brother, that would be great. That would be awesome. In fact, she looks just as nervous as her brother was.
Do you guys get a lot of people coming through to adopt kids?
Yes, we've gotten some wealthy families lately, and you can see the caretaker. He's got his eye through the door at you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. You guys have been here for a couple of years, right?
You might want to try asking her, like, maybe some kind of disguised question, or maybe something that you can try using your eye for deceit on, to see if she's lying or is, like, being forced to lie.
Yeah. Okay. Do you I noticed that you have a room that's all the way up here. And is there some reason why you have a bigger room up here?
I'm the oldest of the current kids in the orphanage, and so I get to have special duties to, look over the littler ones, and these duties mostly involve cleaning. And so I get to have my own room as part of the privilege of being the oldest.
Huh. How come the kids I've seen here so far are like the most well-behaved kids I've ever seen? So how do they? Is that just during periods of time when there's like visitors, or are they always this way?
Once again, she looks nervous, and then she clutches the helmet, actually, that she's holding tighter to her breast, and she says, "Well, we're just you gotta be good in order to find a family and go to a nice home, and it's just Headmaster Albertus's influence."
Huh.
You can, if you want to, you can make a eye for deceit check.
Yeah, I'll do that. Why not?
Oh, 20, yeah. She is lying under duress.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were told that we should stop by here by a former orphan here. His name was Tayron. Did you know him?
Yeah, I know Tayron, she says. He's cool. He's alright. I had a crush on him for a while, but and then she actually, like, changes after she says that, because she seems to remember that the caretaker is within close proximity, and then she says, but we don't talk anymore. Sorry.
Oh. No, that's okay. I mean, he actually brought us here to town, because he was worried about some weird things that he said were happening here in town, just to orphans though.
Well, I hope you you guys find out what the weird things are, and if you want to adopt me, like, that would be great. My brother and me. Sorry, we come in a pair.
That's the way it should be. Well, I guess the last thing is that Tehran was saying that people are, the way they sleep is odd. They've been having nightmares and stuff like that.
So, once you mention that, she has the same reaction as her brother. She looks visibly distraught and uncomfortable. Okay?
Yeah.
And she clutches that helmet closer for protection. Alright?
Huh.
If you want to, you can try to make a closer glimpse at the helmet to see if there's anything odd about it.
Sure.
Seems odd that a kid would be holding a helmet.
Yeah. What's is that? I saw your brother had a really cool toy. Is that another kind of toy like that?
This isn't a toy, she says. This is an actual helmet. This belonged to our mother.
Oh wow. I'm sorry to hear about her.
Yeah, I was too. But
Where were you guys from? Where was your home originally?
we were from another village like this up further north, and our mother was a former soldier in Tartec, the capital city. But then she quit, and she took on some side jobs here and there, mostly as a traveling mercenary. And then she finally brought us down here to Aquaria, and unfortunately she passed away, illness. And here we are. This is the way it is, and this is all I have left to remember her. You can see her tombstone in the graveyard. Her name
Can I see the helmet?
Yeah. And so she timidly hands over the helmet for you to look at. She doesn't let go of it, but she hands over so that you can sort of look it over back and forth. And it does look similar to the helmets of the Tartec police force, but it's painted gold. Make a history check, actually. Yeah. So roll me a d20. Roll me a d20, and we will add your history modifier. So if you look on your character sheet, if you look on the left under history, to the side, you are skilled in that. So any history check you make, you get a +3. Yeah. So what did you roll? You rolled a 20. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So you know that based on your experiences living in Tartec, that up until about 5 or 6 years ago, soldiers of Tartec, they used to wear gold plated armor. Okay? Now they wear blue. But they used to wear gold. They changed it to blue because King Darian woke up one day and decided he liked blue more because it reminded him of the ocean. The endless ocean, and just like how he wanted his life to be endless. And so he made everyone start wearing blue. But she's holding what appears to be a helmet from like an older style of Tartec soldier uniform. Yeah.
And so when you hold the helmet, it reminds you of your mother?
It does, she says. It's all I have left to remember her by. So when you look at the helmet, so this is actually printed on the side of the helmet. You can see the name of the person that used to wear it, and so the name is Valenice.
Was that her name here? Was that her name, Valenice?
That was my mother's name.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Rosella.
Rosella. Nice to meet you, Rosella. I'm Lester.
Nice to meet you, Lester.
Did when your mother and you guys stopped off here, was she intending to stay long?
Well, she had grown tired of the wandering mercenary lifestyle, and when you've got 2 children, it's hard to find jobs, and so I was getting older, and you know, she wanted me to settle down in a place where I could, you know, play and make friends, and Aquaria seemed quiet, and a good place to do that. And she also wanted a place where my brother could make friends too, because Alexander, you know, moved around a lot as kids, and it was hard for him to meet other people that, you know, had his interests. He's really fond of like tinkering with things, and he's got that wind-up walker that I saved up to get him, and that's his favorite thing in the world. He loves stuff like that.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, mom, I think she was gonna buy some property here and maybe set up shop, and then, you know, it's within a day's travel of the capital, but not in the city, so we could have a peaceful life. But unfortunately, she had grown ill over the last couple of years, and she passed. And now it's just me and my brother, and we're here. And then I've still got a couple years to go before I'm considered an adult, but for now, we're here.
Yeah. You know, I was gonna ask, is do you think did it? I heard that there over the past few years there were some like big changes, like the orphanage that used to maybe like when Tehran was there. It's gotten renovated. It's like this is really seems really nice. Were you there for those changes?
She nods, and then she looks past you through the doorway at the caretaker, who is again chopping vegetables, and you can hear that chopping sound against the board, and you can hear it pause slightly, almost as if the guy is listening. And then she nods at you and says, "Yeah, I was here. There have been some changes, but they're for the better."
I see. Meaning like it's just more comfortable than it used to be?
Yes, she says slowly. You can make an eye for deceit check if you want, but you can probably get that something's a little off.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you and your brother have been there a couple of years. How about the other kids? Do they kind of come and go pretty quickly?
She also looks nervous, and she says, "Well, the kids that are here right now have been here for a while. There are some that have gone, and a couple weeks ago they left. But the kids that are here right now have been here for a while, and we're all very happy." Yeah.
Yeah. It seems that way. You're the only one. Well, actually, you and your brother are the only ones that maybe you guys are not as shy, but you guys are the only ones that actually talk to us.
We're the other ones are just shy. Like we're not special. We're just normal, and we're happy to be here. And yeah, she so you're still holding on to the helmet, the helmet, and she kind of pulls it back from you protectively. Make another check. Roll me that d20 again. This is just going to be an Arcana check. You're not skilled in Arcana. You only get a +1 to that. But we'll see. You rolled a 6. Yeah.
A 6.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't notice anything. Yeah. She just takes the helmet back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's all really kind of fishy. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Come and adopt us if you can. She goes back and sits on her bed and is cradling the helmet.
Yeah. Let me ask you one last thing. Is there any time that you guys get out and about in the town?
She looks at you up and down and nervously looks at the caretaker once again at the door, just chopping those vegetables. And then she squeezes the helmet, and then she whispers something under her breath. She almost like mouth reads it. Sorry, like says it without actually saying it. Just just moves her lips. Let's see. Let me see if you understand her. I'm going to have you roll a check. This is going to be a perception check, which you are skilled in, actually. Yeah. You have a +3 for perception.
Okay.
Yeah, so just roll me a d20 if you can. Oh, what happened? Oh no, did you get kicked? Are you there, Josh? Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. He might have gotten kicked very briefly. Hello? Oh, you're back. Hello? Hello? Greetings. You there? Josh? Hey! Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Hey, did that work?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Yeah, you got kicked for a second.
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You're back.
Yeah.
You're back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, okay.
It's like this switch will take me back. I may have hit that.
Yeah, I think you hit that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see it. We were saying.
I was saying. Yeah.
I had to make a check.
Yeah. So she said she kind of like said something through her lips.
Loading here, so.
Oh. Has it not?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And you
Sorry, say that again. Say that again, Josh. I couldn't quite hear you.
Should I do a roll?
Yes. Yes. Do a roll
to see if I can understand her.
Yes, do a roll. Roll me a d20, and this is going to be a.
All right.
Perception, so +3. 15, very good. So 15 plus
18.
3, yes, is 18. You see her mouth the words, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., the graveyard. Okay?
Got it.
Yeah. And she said it very softly, almost imperceptibly,
Okay.
but her mouth formed those words. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, the graveyard. And then she looks from the caretaker to her helmet to herself extremely uncomfortably and cradles that helmet very, very, very tightly. Oh no, you kicked yourself again, Josh. You went back. Oh well. Ah, you're back! Hello? Hello? I think you must be pressing the mouse button that accidentally takes you backwards a page. I can see you moving. Are you there, Josh? Can't hear you. I'll just give you a call on Messenger, maybe. Hello? Might have some technical difficulties, but we were kind of almost done anyways. Oh, he said, just messaged me saying, hold on a sec. Probably just got his computer window screwed up. Just telling him to enter. Oh! Yep. It's that Pennsylvania internet causing all the problems. We're about done anyways for today. Session heavy on roleplay today. It's a good change from last session, which was like intense battles. Oh, I think he's not able to log back in. It's probably internet getting screwed up. Alright, we're probably gonna have to call it a night. We were almost done anyways. Alright, we're gonna call it a night for now. And we will be back next time with some more story revelations. Alright? Alright, I'm gonna... Oh! He says he's launching again. Launching again. Okay. You're back. Maybe?
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi.
Is it working?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So,
I think you hit that back button on the mouse or something like that.
So
or maybe it's just
yeah.
the Pennsylvania internet.
Yeah, it sucks. So I think we left off that the girl had said like meet at the graveyard at 7 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was the last thing she said.
Well, why don't we? Okay. Yeah, let's make our exit. This place is creepy.
All right, the exit's down here. Actually, yeah, to the bottom. Yeah. All right, so you guys make your exit. You exit out of the creepy orphanage with the children who are a little bit too perfect and too quiet.
Yeah.
And you make it back into Aquaria, and the day's getting a bit late. And if you want to, you can start heading to the Troglodyte's Toe, which is in the center of town, and then we can kind of leave off, because it's about time to wrap up anyways.
Yeah. Okay. It's about time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's about time to go to bed. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right. So you guys amble down away from the bizarre orphanage and into the troglodyte's toe, and in the middle of town. And I will take you to that map. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So here we are. You should be able to see it now. Okay. So you step into a nicely lit, friendly, warm tavern / inn, and you can see a variety of people seated around the tables, and nice globes of light illuminating the area. Are you able to see it? Or is it still loading for you?
Yeah. Okay.
And you
I mean, it's
yeah. Well, anyway, you can see Tehran here and several other individuals, and so this is a good place to leave off for now, and we'll continue again next time.
Okay. Sounds good.